of Vice Chancellor. He is an expert in many things. He is a multi-dimensional player. He deals with poultry, he deals with these dairy things. He is basically from livestock production and management background. And so today the first lecture we kept for him so that he will sensitize you all about what's going on with respect to J&K's dairy sector. Sir, please.
Thank you, Rafi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I am not an expert on dairy. By training, I am a poultry scientist. I am a master's as well as PhD in purely in poultry science. It's not LPM, right? So, but why I am here is probably because when I landed in SKUAST, Kashmir, although I had applied before my appointment in this university, we had a poultry science department, but and I applied for that. And by the time I joined that poultry science, by that time VCI had been implemented, and by virtue of VCI, this poultry science was rechristened as division of LPM, and I landed in division of LPM. And being the junior most there, the students were to be suppose practicals of our in LPM practicals, they were to be conducted in Mansball. So now the junior has to bear that all those problems. And so कौन जाएगा तो अज़मुत आलम खान जाएगा. So then I started becoming acquainted with dairy and sort of interest developed. And even the first course which was allotted to me here as assistant professor was at that time it was LPM 411. That was dairy. I have started, although in my masters LPM मैंने नहीं पढ़ा था. Though after that in PhD I took LPM as my one of the minor subjects, and but the course which I taught here was the dairy course. Anyways, you are all learned people, particularly presence of Dr. Shafat Kakru makes me a little bit jittery.
And I'll sit at the back.
So what to talk? I will. I have just everything is in the last three or four slides. But ये organizers का मान रखने के लिए 16-17 slides की मैंने ये presentation बना ली है. But we have been, as Honorable Vice Chancellor was talking about, that we are making a policy of holistic development of agriculture in Jammu and Kashmir, and in that the dairy is also one. All sectors of agriculture are being touched, and dairy is also there. Poultry is also there. So in my presentation, I will try to apprise you of what is there in store in that new policy, which almost it is now approved and it is now to be rolled out. What is there in store for dairy? And of course, we have to begin with the data. Let us see where we are. But again, when I present the data here, I must caution that the biggest casualty in our system, it applies to all South India or Asia, that it is the data. We are now never sure about our data. Data is, in fact, when we started this whole exercise about this framing the policy for this agriculture, then the first presentation which one of our economic scientists made, then he was able to demonstrate that the data which lies in on which our government policies are framed, जो हम डायरेक्टरेट ऑफ प्लानिंग वगैरह से जो डेटा हमारे पास आता है, he could demonstrate that there are many fallacies in that data, including when we try to see that Directorate of Economics data and then compare with our मुझे कैसे बात कर मुझे should I speak in English or कैसे तो उन्होंने उसमें ये कहा कि जो डेटा हमारा इनके वो इनाम कुछ है ना इसमें इनाम that portal is there which through which they maintain all those AIs being done and all those things उसकी मुताबिकत उसमें उन्होंने रजिस्टर की है cows and etc. तो उसकी मुताबिकत हमारे उस स्टैटिस्टिक्स वाले डेटा के साथ नहीं हो पा रही है. There are definitely some fallacies in the data. मैं आपको थोड़ी सी कुछ देर के लिए मैंने as veterinary assistant surgeon भी काम करा है अपने एक ब्लॉक में मैं भी था जैनपुरा ब्लॉक. I was posted there. I will just give you an example of the type of data we are dealing with. So there is for every that block there is a target that you have to castrate these many animals. There are these births and then these inseminations. If you closely look at those, you do these many inseminations and bulls you have already castrated as per the target. There should be no stray bull. So all inseminations should happen at your center, probably in that block. Then you start comparing these many inseminations. Then everybody knows that is insemination 30% is successful hai. So you will definitely get these many animals, these many births. Let us assume that all survive, and so there will be 50-50. 50% will be cows, 50% will be the heifers. Then next year, what should be the target of your castration? Say suppose वही 50% तो आप करोगे ना castrate जो यहाँ से आ गई. तो then your castration जो data है, then castration suppose whole in that block you produce 600 animals, 600 births. So 300 ही you can castrate, but in the next year's data you write say वो ऐसे ही लिखा जाता है 350 भी castrate कर दिए जाते हैं. वो किसको castrate किया I don't know. So these are fallacies in the data, but our source is their data. Now let us start with an industry overview. This is a whole country overview. We are the largest as far as dairy is concerned. We are producing. We have an annual population of over 118 million, and our production at country level, it accounts for 13% of the world's total milk production, and cumulative annual growth rate of 5% from this is annual 138 million tons into 2014. We have reached 200 million tons in 2022. You can see here per capita milk availability there. This is an all India level. That red one is the all India level, and Jammu Kashmir is believed to be on the more than the national average. And this, yes, of course, we rank first in milk production, but then see in our milk market, most of that milk is sold as a liquid milk. And processed part about which this whole of the training program is concerned, this has a very less share. Milk powder, some 8%, ghee, again 8%, ice creams, 4%, butter, 3%, smelling curd, cheese, flavored milk, and all those things, they account for only 1% of the milk. So this scenario, we aim through the trainings like this, we want to change this sort of a scenario. More and more milk should enter into that processing chain. Of course, there are we have some bottlenecks. Say what is government investing into this livestock industry? What are the investments from the government side? we see that we contribute some 10% to the GDP, and if we take agriculture GDP, our this contribution of livestock is some 30%. But then you see the some allotments, जो government के funds आते हैं towards agriculture or towards they are very far less than what we contribute to the same. This is true at the national level also, and it is true at the our UT level or state. This is the data at glance. We have these many total bovine populations, 31.45 lakh, adult cows and buffaloes some 15 lakh, breedable bovines 10.9 lakh, total buffalo population we have. This is about Jammu Kashmir. This is Jammu Kashmir data. Total buffalo population 6.9 lakh, adult female buffaloes 3.9 lakh. Millet production is 25.94 lakh metric tons. Millet production of J&K accounts for only 1%, 1.23% of total country's production. Lactation yield is 2380 liters. This is again on the higher, more than the national average of 2199 liters. And turnover, lactation yield of buffaloes is 1200 liters. Turnover from dairy sector 9080 crores, and contribute to our contribution to state GDP 5.62, and contribution to the agriculture GDP is 31%. Then we have some dairy. This is one of the important issues. Dairy animals we import. A lot of these dairy development programs are going on. Animal husbandry से यहाँ dairy को बढ़ावा देने के लिए. Then but the animals they get from other states. Some 20,000 animals are imported, and this leads to the flight of capital to the order of 200 crore every year. It goes to other states. Then growth rate of this whole sector is 3.5%, but national average is 5.8. Milk marketed through organized sector is these many thousand metric tons, 82,000 metric tons, and this accounts for only 2.8%. While as national average is 34%. जो processing sector से होके at least packaging minimum, हम जो यहाँ processing कहते हैं ना, although processing is much more, हम यहाँ कहते हैं कि लिफाफे में भर के, लोटे में दूध ना बेच के, लिफाफे में भर के, पैकेट में पॉलिथीन पैकेट में भर के या जो भी होता है वो करके इसको हम कहते हैं कि हाँ जी processing होगी, तो वो भी होता है just 2.8%. Then milk processing and chilling capacity जो अभी हमारे पास है 1.25 lakh liters per day, जो सारी यहाँ पर एक खैबर शैबर सारा मिला के it is 1.25 lakh liters per day, but it is not utilized to it. इतने लीटर प्रोसेस नहीं हो रहा है. Then breedable cattle that is covered by AI is 3.32. This AI coverage it is 30%. Thankfully, थोड़ा बहुत यहाँ scenario better है in Kashmir division. In Jammu it is 17% only. Here it is 50%, and total state का जो बन रहा है it is 30%. Semen cetera production हमारी 9 lakh है, मिला के सारा यहाँ जो हो रहा है, और जम्मू में जो है, और fodder deficiency ये भी एक हमारा इसके साथ लिंक्ड है, that is 41% हमारा fodder deficiency. This is again how this our milk production has been moving over the years, and we target जो 2030 में हम we target some 62 lakh metric tons of milk हमें produce होना चाहिए, so that we are able to provide that milk. अब ये इसमें whether we will be able to reach that target or not, इसमें कुछ हमारे पास challenges है. AI चेन हमारा उसको फीड करने के लिए हमें चाहिए ब्रीडिंग बुल्स, हमारे पास 30 है, जबकि चाहिए ज़्यादा. Similarly, quality of those breeding bulls, whether they are, we have been able to put into that chain the progeny tested bulls, या progeny testing का हमारा mechanism यहाँ पर कुछ है या नहीं है. AI cover हमारा पॉप जो जैसे मैंने कहा 30% है, जो होना चाहिए था एटलीस्ट 75%। कंजप्शन रेट हमारा 25% है, जो एटलीस्ट 60 तो हो। फीड फॉडर अवेलेबिलिटी एंड क्वालिटी, वो हमारा ये एक इशू है।
Regarding consumption rate, so is there any help from the department कि वो there is like जैसे बाहर P4 test आता है for testing the progesterone level in the milk, उससे consumption पता चलता है if the levels are high तो either it's pregnant और उसका estrous cycle होगा गाय का. So is there any help regarding that? क्योंकि I surveyed the market, तो वो जो strips होती हैं those are not available here. If they are, they're very costly and वो फिर उस फ्रेमवर्क में आप इकोनॉमिकल उसको नहीं बोल सकते.
I personally don't think that there is such type of any scheme going on.
They don't have. They don't have.
Then again extension again is
Sir, in the first
challenge.
instance, if I may sir, intervene, why do you need such steps? For example, if a cow is in estrus and I have performed very high, then within 21 days normally I should know whether she has conceived or not. Why do I need to just diagnose it before that?
To be sure, I mean if you lose that period of time, because time constitutes to money. So if you're losing that time, that's why.
You want to say sir, within 21 days I want to go for another estrus?
No, what he wants to tell you is that the cycle is within 21 days.
Yes sir.
So whether you know about it or you don't know about it, you have to wait for those.
We have to wait, no, sir, for
Normal
21 days.
natural process is that after
Exactly.
21 days you will come to know.
So if
Even if you do a test, then
even
you
if
have
I
to
come
wait
to
for
know
that.
before 21 days, how I
It
am going
won't
to
preempt.
perform the AI, sir?
Sir,
That's
please.
the biggest question, sir. So I think it is natural, sir. We wait for 21 days. Normally, I don't understand, but if we are going to look for the progesterone, okay, progesterone comes after conception. So there are certain days. It won't come just after conception.
No, yeah, exactly. After when you're waiting for the next estrous cycle, वो begin होगा. उससे पहले आपका progesterone level high होगा. If the cow is pregnant.
It comes around 14th day after.
Otherwise,
Progesterone normally.
the basic thing is that you have to wait for that cycle. no?
Cycle, sir.
Cycle is
It again comes to that.
So you can't go
So
beyond
I
that.
will clear.
For this 21 days you can't do anything.
Yes.
You have to wait.
We have to
You have to wait because cow will be receptive again
ये
for
progesterone का जो
breeding
sir बोल रहे हैं, ये
after those 21 days. I guess.
So what is also trying to tell you is that efficiency of AI success rate
To know the
how do
heat
you know
as well.
that? That is a time tested process. You can even do it by that, the one you are done scientifically. But still, it has an elementary value, but it does not have a, what you say, significant
और
value.
सर इसमें एक चीज है सर, आप डिस्टर्ब तो नहीं हो रहे हैं सर?
नहीं please.
अच्छा, इसमें जो इनका ये मानना है सर हार्मोन प्रोफाइलिंग का सर, और मैं सर का भी इसमें ये दूंगा. इसमें ये होता है सर, नॉर्मली वी नो, मतलब when we have artificially inseminate a cow, there's a window, okay sir. तो when we have that hormone profiling with us, तो उससे आसानी हो जाती है उसमें सर. We know exactly the concentration or when we should be exactly. क्या होता है सर, नॉर्मली जो फेलियर आपने बोला ना 30%, तो फेलियर नॉर्मली इसलिए भी होता है सर क्योंकि जब हमारे पास ओनर आता है ना सर, नॉर्मली वी नो
That window is after that window.
Some cows are
तो
dormant.
वो हमारे पास आता है ना सर, एग्जैक्टली. तो डॉर्मेंट वो नहीं बोल पाते कब इनको ये है सर. तो साइलेंट टेस्टस वो मसला है सर.
To address that problem, na, say
तो वो
now
हो
you are
सकता है.
suppose your that veterinary center is open from 10 to 4 or 10 to 5, and the cow comes into heat say after 5.
Exactly.
The owner is able to notice
Exactly.
those signs after 5. Then he can't do anything. He has to wait till next morning, next 10. और अगर वो Sunday हुई तो then Monday morning. So then for that also there are solutions in animal husbandry department. They have been trying. There are those.
Can I
solutions.
answer this question?
Yes.
Can I?
Why not? Why not?
If you are doing it in an organized sector, it's very easy to keep a tab on it. Well, you have a system where you have to go and see the cow on a regular basis. But if you are doing it in an unorganized sector, suppose domestic sector में एक गाय, किसी के पास 4 गाय, किसी के पास, it's very difficult to keep a tab on that. That's why
Farming concept
the
का ज़्यादा
government is जो endeavor है government का, जो इनका पेपर है, जिसमें हम लोगों ने when I was working, I was heading the task force. Minister साहब ने एक task force
किया था
बनाया
सर उनने सामून साहब ने कुछ
No, not,
करी.
it was not during Amun sir. And when Syed Ghani Loan was the minister,
Yes, yes.
so I had the privilege of heading a team. जिसमें हम लोगों ने एक organized, we wanted to shift this unorganized sector into an organized sector. और that was the framework जिसपे इन लोगों ने फिर बाद में they have done better work, more efficient work. But framework हमने किया था. We had proposed to the government
सारे इस मोहल्ले की
grant
गाय.
of
हाँ सर.
a grant of 3,000 crores. अगर जनाब मुफ्ती मोहम्मद सईद साहब बीमार नहीं होते तो probably that was approved and we would have already been on the track. आप जो एग्रीकल्चर में इन्होंने पूरा ले लिया है सेक्टर, इन्होंने 5,000 करोड़ की बात की है. हमने खाली डेयरी और शीप हस्बेंड्री एंड फॉडर 3,000 करोड़ का हम लोगों ने बनाया था. So what is, unless and until this sector is not organized properly, whatever you are doing will not yield dividends. Once you organize it, you are working on a scientific pattern. Then it is very easy to keep track of these things like you do.
Yes, exactly.
It is very easy to keep track of your animals. It's very easy to keep track of their heat. It is very easy to keep track of their insemination and the subsequent. Sorry, I am interrupting.
Sir.
I'm sorry.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, while he was here, he has already given that those instructions, or we can say, or told that you will be both the teacher as well as.
I just want to learn something.
Yeah.
Sir,
Then,
can I add one point?
please.
There is a recent scheme launched by government called as Maitris. It is similar to ASHA workers as in human health. They are trained to do AI and they are given the equipment and that can they require for AI. So it will be launched. But it is launched. It will take some time to evolve.
It is already in the field.
There will be
They are available just like ASHA.
inseminators in every village probably.
They will be called
Workers
phone.
already in the field.
And
Sir, actually, this was a complaint from various farmers.
सर this discussion is going actually insane. जो इन्होंने कहा था ना शफात सर ने सर, तो मुझे लगता है उसमें ये था सर, फॉर एग्जाम्पल मोहल्ले में अगर सर 10 इंडिविजुअल्स आर रेयरिंग, अब सेपरेटली हम गाय रेयर कर रहे हैं ना सर, उसमें ये था टू ब्रिंग ऑल दोज अंडर वन रूफ.
काउ हॉस्टल्स का कॉन्सेप्ट.
एग्जैक्टली. तो सबका मैनेजमेंट इकट्ठे हो जाएगा. जो 10 ओनर है वो सारे इसमें ये करेंगे. और जो इन्होंने कहा ना सर ज्योमेट्री वगैरह एआई वर्कर्स है सर, मतलब उसमें वो तो वर्क करते हैं सर, बट मसला एक है सर, When a vet goes out of the college, sir, जैसे मैं हूँ सर, मैंने 5 साल जो पढ़ा है, 5 साल जो मुझे सिखाया गया है, the way I am doing AI सर, मुझे अब भी याद है सर, अभी भी जब मैं त्राल में था सर, जहाँ से हमारे ऑनरेबल डी साहब है, वहाँ पे एक गाय उसको 4 साल हुए थे कंसीव नहीं कर रही थी सर. मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा मैंने कुछ किया सर. Only thing what I managed was scientifically करना. Scientific विंडो मैंने देखी, एक ही बार AI के एक ही बार कंसीव किया. जो ये है ना सर, जो हमारा एआई वर्कर का सेटअप है, आई एम नॉट, मतलब मैं उंगली किसी पे नहीं उठा रहा हूँ सर, क्या ये वैसा कर पाते हैं सर? Whether they are able to match that expectation, I don't feel so. वो मसला है सर.
Let us be optimistic. Let us be very, very optimistic because
लेकिन सर ने बोला
see, many things are on cards. We recently they were appointed by government took help of SKUAST Kashmir for appointing those 50 contractual veterinarians and then equal number of paravets. They will be moving in those. They will be provided those vehicles. They will be moving in a particular area which has been. So that also may probably we may think that also will.
That's a very good step.
ये जो reach है या time पे insemination at least हो, that can also solve many problems. See, in this slide I was talking about this target, 62 point some these many lakh metric tons. Now, can we achieve this? Firstly, इतना दूध हमें किस लिए चाहिए? So, how this project, how they have been able to arrive at this projection is that will be some 20 million people by 2030, and then because तरक्की हम कर रहे हैं, पैसा भी आ रहा है. Presently, if our consumption per capita consumption is 500 ml, it may double to 1000 ml. Then health conscious ये सब हो रहा है, तो उसको कैलकुलेट करके we are able, हमारी इतनी मिल्क की ज़रूरत है by 2030. And how can we achieve that? Yes, there are in developed world there are examples where there has been this much fold increase in the milk production. Like you can see here in developed world in 1951 they were at 2000 liters then per lactation, and in 2010 they reached 10,500 लीटर्स, 5 फोल्ड इन्होंने इसका इंक्रीज किया. लेकिन कैटल पॉपुलेशन दे वर एबल टू डिक्रीज. 21 मिलियन था उनका, 9 मिलियन पे आ गया. इसी तरह देयर आर सम एग्जांपल्स हियर फ्रॉम यूएस डेयरी इंडस्ट्री. उनका कैटल पॉपुलेशन जो था 21 मिलियन था, 9 मिलियन हो गया. इंक्रीज इन मिल्क प्रोडक्शन 45% हुआ. देन पर काउ मिल्क यील्ड इंक्रीज बाय 400%. और फार्मिंग हो गई इंटेंसिव, हाई इनपुट, और हर्ड स्ट्रेंथ 50, बड़ी बड़ी हर्ड्स. यहाँ आवर्स इज अ सॉर्ट ऑफ अ डिफिकल्ट, जैसे शफाल साहब कह रहे थे, एक गाय है, किसी के पास 2 गाय है. एंड वन ऑफ माई स्टूडेंट्स हैज वर्कड ऑन दिस डेयरी एस्पेक्ट. द मैक्सिमम जो हर्ड स्ट्रेंथ उसको मिली यहाँ पर श्रीनगर में, एक दैट वाज अराउंड 50. बादामवारी साइड का कोई फार्मर है, तो 50. बट दैट सिस्टम देयर वी हैव टू इंक्रीज AI cover, improve the conception rate. Breeding bulls we can make available in accessible areas, and extension services ये करना पड़ेगा. इसी तरह कमर्शियल डेयरिंग में क्वालिटी जर्म प्लाज्म अवेलेबल करके, कमर्शियल डेयरिंग करके, और सपोर्ट सिस्टम जो भी उनको चाहिए, एंड फॉडर प्रॉब्लम को एड्रेस किसी तरह करना होगा. एंड दीज आर द पीपल हु विल डू इट. SKUAST Kashmir, they can chip in to produce those breeding bulls if we are able to invest into our MLRI. Once a very nice farm, but it has fallen to certain very difficult situations, and more than 75% of its area is now under that has been taken by the security forces. We are left with some only 1/4 भी शायद नहीं है हमारे पास. Similarly, these are, but if we can somehow revive it and come up with these solutions, then Department of Animal Husbandry can chip in, and then government, most policy support that should come from the government. Now let us see here in this slide. This is the actual slide where I wanted to come. See, first problem with us is the germplasm. अब germplasm, if we suppose you are here as you get inspired here, and then somebody will start, yes, I will go into this dairy industry. तो सबसे बड़ा मसला जो आता है हमारे पास, ये गाय कहाँ से हम लाएंगे. अब गाय लानी है बाहर से. अब वो कैसी गाय होती है, आई डोंट नो. When I was also in the animal husbandry department, there was उस वक्त ये ट्राइबल्स का कुछ प्रोग्राम हुआ करता था, and those tribal people they used to get this much of subsidy, and but the guy again at that time also that वो पंजाब से आती है गाय, या मतलब स्टेट से बाहर आती है, और उसमें जो वो मिडल मैन इन्वॉल्व होते हैं. एक तो हमारे यहाँ से ड्रेन हुआ कैपिटल, वो चला गया बाहर, और उस गाय का भी भरोसा नहीं है कि कैसी हो. तो जर्म यहाँ हमारे पास, आई शुड हैव एन आंसर टू दैट फेलो कि यहाँ से ये आपकी ये दिस इज अ सोर्स, एंड दैट शुड बी अ रिलायबल सोर्स. अब इन दैट पॉलिसी डॉक्यूमेंट we have tried to address that problem, how we will be able to produce large number of these germplasm, to a quality germplasm. उसके साथ ही जो हमें germplasm better करना है, तो उसके लिए AI है. AI के लिए हमारा AI सर्विसेज करना है, और ये जो रिपीट ब्रीडिंग का बीच में चला था, ये इसको भी एड्रेस करने की आवश्यकता है. और ये AI सर्विसेज एंड रिपीट ब्रीडिंग मैंने इसलिए साथ में रखा है, जब हम AI सर्विसेज, वो क्वालिटी ऑफ दैट सीमन कैसा हो, मे बी इट ऑल्सो समटाइम्स लीड्स टू, हमारा ये है कि AI सर्विस हमने चालू की, हर जगह पर हमने AI सेंटर बनाया, वेदर वी आर एबल टू मेंटेन दैट क्वालिटी. कभी वो लिक्विड नाइट्रोजन खत्म हो जाता है, वो लिक्विड नाइट्रोजन सप्लाई ही उसमें नहीं होती है, इट हैज़ रीच्ड दोज क्रिटिकल लेवल्स, फिर वो insemination बेचारा that farmer comes to the center, he gets that सही समय पे insemination होती है, but if that has fallen below that critical level, you don't know about the viability of that.
वो बंदे अभी भी जेब में ले
Yeah. So all these things happen, and then maybe sometimes we induce infections while doing AI if it is not being done in a correct way and a correct following that protocol. So we induce infections. Then when there are those infections, then again this leads to all those problems. Then again the availability of the semen. Just now I told you that we are producing 9 lakh straws, and we need much more. तो उसके लिए हमें breeding bulls चाहिए. So this is one sort of a problem that need to be addressed. Then again there is a problem of fodder. Fodder हमारे पास 40 say the data says we are 47% or 45% deficit in fodder. Feed की तो बात ही नहीं, उसमें 100% लिख लो. तो ये there we have several problems. First is the fodder seed availability. We at university level usually seed chain रहता है हर एक crops का, since university deals with all the crops. There is a sort of seed chain. Seed chain में ये होता है कि university develops the breeder seed. Breeder seed आपने बहुत अच्छा बनाया, and once we were checking these fallacies of the data, we found that the university produces enough of the breeder seed. इसमें कुछ seed rate होता है कि ब्रीडर सीड के 1 किलो से इसके बाद फाउंडेशन सीड बनता है, फाउंडेशन सीड के बाद एक्चुअल सीड बनता है जो ट्रुथफुली लेबल्ड सीड. सो दीज आर 3 स्टेप्स इन दैट सीड चेन. जितना यूनिवर्सिटी ब्रीडर सीड बनाता है उसमें कुछ मल्टीप्लिकेशन फैक्टर होता है, उससे इतना फाउंडेशन सीड बन सकता है, और उस फाउंडेशन सीड को फर्दर मल्टीप्लाई बाय समथिंग, इट बिकम्स दीज मेनी क्विंटल्स ऑफ ट्रुथफुली लेबल्ड सीड. तो जितना यूनिवर्सिटी ब्रीडर सीड बनाती है that would be sufficient and more than sufficient to produce that foundation seed and from that truthfully labeled seed. But कहीं पर this seed chain में कहीं problem है. We are not able to produce that much quantity of the fodder seed. I had an opportunity to travel to Ladakh some 2 months back. 2 आदमी एक के ऊपर एक खड़ा करके इतना टॉल है, उसमें 5 कॉब्स है या कुछ ऐसे दे आर क्लेमिंग. तो देखो उधर उनको दे दो बेचारे कांगन वालों को, हमारी सारी मेज़ की प्रॉब्लम पोल्ट्री की भी खत्म हो जाएगी, और साइलेज के लिए हमें इतना सारा वो उसका स्ट्रा मिलेगा, तो ये दे दो. तो दीज आर द प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम्स इन द फील्ड. तो दैट्स this very good seed if we are claiming as a scientist that we have produced a very good seed, but that is ultimately that does not multiply to that extent so that it reaches the end user. So ये हमारे पास fodder seed की availability. इसमें एक university apart from this the policy which is coming up, उसमें भी वैसे ये ingredient है, but before that university did one thing. We have entered into MOU with Khyber people, and that we will be giving our breeder seed to Khyber people. They will be, so we have roped in the private players, they will multiply that seed. Yes, they will be multiplying that seed, and then probably शायद कुछ इसमें solution निकले. Then fodder, ये जो fodder spread, the poor spread of fodder conservation technology है, we have been talking of this. पता नहीं, मैंने भी जब BVSC किया है उसमें ये साइलेज मेकिंग, हेम मेकिंग सबक बहुत पड़ा है, और दैट एनरिचिंग द सिट्रास. बट प्रोबेबली दिस इज द टेक्नोलॉजी प्रोबेबली विच हैज़ नॉट रीच्ड द फार्मर. इतने सालों से वी हैव बीन मेकिंग साइलेज एट आवर मानसबल. आई बिलीव दैट मस्ट बी ए बिगेस्ट साइलेज, जो पिट वगैरह ये रहता है इसका, दैट मस्ट बी ए बिगेस्ट. बट इट इज़ अगेन वही टेक्नोलॉजी जो 60 में जहाँ से शुरू किया था, वही टेक्नोलॉजी वहीं पर रुकी हुई है. एक पिट में डाल दो, ऊपर से ट्रैक्टर चलाओ, फिर उसको बंद करो, तो साइलेज मेकिंग. आज का इफ यू सी नाउ देयर आर होल प्रोसेस हैज बिकम मैकेनाइज्ड. दे डोंट यूज दीज पिट्स वगैरह, दे यूज दे जस्ट मेक बेल, मेक दिस बंडल्स, देन उसके ऊपर वो पॉलीथीन जैसा कुछ लपेट लेते हैं एंड इट इज कैप्ट, उसमें साइलेज बन जाता है व्हेन इट्स टू बी यूज। ये ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में भी इजी है। तो these things are now coming up. Our technology has stopped at those 1960s technology that needs to be addressed. और our जो हमारे pastures थे या those we call them common property lands, जो हमारी घास चराई होती थी, that घास चराई is also gone. It has been used for so many other purposes, so that is gone. Then coming to processing again, as I told, it is only 2% in our case. There we have to, this will address our certain marketing issues. Marketing and processing को इसलिए मैंने एक साथ रखा है। अगर हमें better, we have seen the incidences of people throwing away the milk. तो अगर उनके पास कुछ, क्योंकि this is a perishable commodity, sale हुआ, it is like my broiler. मेरा broiler का ये crop तैयार हुआ, if I am able to market it, okay. If I am not able to market it, then I have to simply throw it away because I cannot afford to feed them to that extent. So this is same is the situation here. Milk आपको sale हुआ, that if there is no this processing backup, you are not able to chill it, and in that policy those chilling and all these things have been kept. Then healthcare and insurance again, that is an issue. Cattle insurance, I am seeing the ads on our national television कि insurance वगैरह का यहाँ हुआ है कुछ, but still it needs to be done in a bigger way. Then there is the issue of climate change. This you can see here, this affects both the health scenario as well as the fodder. Once there is a climate change, this will affect your fodder production as well as it may give rise to newer diseases, newer challenges in the health front. So this is the whole gamut of the problems. Now these are the ways in which that policy जिसकी हम बात जो किसी साहब ने कहा कि अप्रूव हो गया, तो this is the way in which they are trying to address it. They in that one of the activities is that AI coverage they want to increase from 30 to 70%, and once they reach the coverage, साथ में 50% of the sex sorted semen is to be introduced. So particularly in those areas will be under focus where the AI coverage is less than 10%. So this is the expected output of that will be that we will be able to cover 7.63 dairy animals through AI. Currently we are covering only 3.32. Similarly, we will be having some 5.33 lakh elite female births annually. Currently it is 1.66. This will make more heifers available for जो हमारा नया जिसको नया enterprise में आना है. So accordingly there will be an increase in the milk production. Semen stations जो हमारा है, those are to be upscaled so that we can double the semen citra production from current 9 lakh to 19.5 lakh. So increasing number of these AI centers, these are planned to be increased from 1389 presently to 2189. So this may somehow address the problem of germplasm वगैरह का. Then again this in that same line, breed multiplication farms in the private sector, they will be incentivizing establishment of these breed multiplication farms, where from those animals will come for the new units. Then establishment of satellite heifer units. Then strengthening, this is about the MLRI, where from those elite animals will come. Strengthening MLRI Manasbal with introduction of multiple ovulation and embryo transfer with in vitro fertilization technology. Milk recording, better milk recording, so that we can have that. Once we have that records, then only we can go for those testings, progeny testings, and etc. Murrah Buffalo Farm, they also plan to establish, that will of course go to Jammu. Progeny testing they want to introduce so that we can produce high genetic merit bulls, and milk recording in enough, so that if we find a very good milk producer in the field, from that उसको वो कुछ open nucleus breeding का वो system बनाना चाहते हैं. So I believe that this would give us a favorable input in the terms of produce more number of elite dairy animals, then entrepreneurship building, then we will be able to induct more number of dairy animals from within the UT instead of getting them from outside. Production of high genetic worth male bull cows and elite heifers, production of progeny tested bulls, and introduction of elite buffaloes for buffalo production. This is about the feed and fodder development. In fact, इस policy में there are actually 29 components in the whole policy. 29 components में dairy का एक component है and fodder उसमें अलग से एक component है. This is because उसमें dairy का अगर animal science के संदर्भ में देखें उसमें dairy का अलग है, sheep का अलग है, poultry का अलग है और एक fodder का अलग से डाल दिया है. तो in that one is the ration balancing program, then district feed and fodder libraries, digital platform for balancing rations, strengthening this fodder seed production chain I was talking of. इसका एक example जैसे on the same lines as we have done it for Khyber, more these private players will be put in. Then mission silage, then augmenting fodder production from hortipastoral and silvipastoral systems they will be trying, and this will definitely lead to increased milk production and decreased input costs. Then coming to the marketing and processing part, this they plan to establish these milk collection units in terms of FPOs, milk FPOs, dairy FPOs, so that there will be aggregation of the produce, and this can lead to production, because we cannot expect one farmer who produces say 50 liters, 100 liters of milk, he cannot go for processing at this level. When there is collectivation at say at one village, two villages or 10 villages, then they can think of that. For that, this milk collection and chilling infrastructure they want to augment. Then strengthening of existing and creation of new milk processing infrastructure in private sector as well as cooperative sector, and attraction of national and multinational companies to process more milk. This would definitely lead to there will be more aggregation, more chilling, then processing and other things. So this was something about that policy and the problems we had and what is in store, what the government intends to do. Thank you so much.
Any questions?
सर राशन बैलेंसिंग प्रोग्राम जो आपका है इस रिगार्डिंग जो कैटल का फीड आता है उसको हम बैलेंस कैसे फीड
ration balancing program it has been envisaged like this. We say that present even if we do not do other things what was there, what is available with us, if that is fed in a proper way. I was recently in southern Karnataka. There they showed us one, it was like an ATM. It was like ATM machine, सामने TV खड़ा है. The farmer goes there and he feeds that मेरे घर में ये ingredient है, मेरे घर में मेज़ है या मेरे घर में सोयाबीन है, जो भी उसके घर में है, तो उसमें पीछे कोई एल्गोरिथम लगा है, he just जिस तरह उसमें फीड करता है, वहाँ से उसको आता है कि आप ऐसा करो 10 किलो ये मिलाओ, 5 किलो ये मिलाओ, 6 किलो ये मिलाओ और इसमें फिर 1 किलो मिनरल मिक्सचर मिलाओ, आपका राशन बन गया. दिस टाइप ऑफ थिंग्स दे वांट टू, उन्हें ये हेल्प करके कुछ यही जो मेत्रीज आप कह रहे हैं, कुछ इनको ट्रेन करके दे मे बी डूइंग दैट, दे विल बी विद दोस टैब्स एंड दे विल बी
प्रोवाइडिंग विद द मॉडल कि वो बस कैलकुलेट करके.
हाँ, यस, इट्स लाइक दैट.
एनर्जी बेस्ड या लाइक यहाँ सोयाबीन हमारे पास अवेलेबल नहीं है, तो उसका जो क्रूड प्रोटीन है इट्स ऑलमोस्ट 48%. सो उसका अल्टरनेटिव आई ट्राई टू फाइंड इट, इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू फाइंड.
See, I am a poultry scientist, right? In poultry, we have been working since long. They say that we will find the alternative to maize. and we'll find alternative to say soybean. But the fact is that alternative to maize is only maize, and alternative to soybean is only soybean, right? Similar, what they in this ration balancing program they are trying to see within a available जो resources है, इसमें what best they can do. It may say it may not be 100% जो उसमें लिखा है TDN इतना होना चाहिए, and this how using these ingredients available with the farmer, how he will be able to formulate a ration which is nearest possible to that ideal sort of ideal जो भी इसमें ये होते हैं.
Is that in sir, are we planning to introduce those kind of machines here also?
Yes, they are planning two things. एक तो ये kiosks वगैरह ये रहेंगे, then दूसरा they are जो ये वो जो volunteers हैं जो AIVA volunteers या A-help, so they will be with those tabs. उनके हाथ में टैब होगा या इनके आजकल मोबाइल्स आपके पास है, they will be having that app, or even the farmer will be trained to use that app. He will be given, he can do it. One who can operate a mobile phone, he can do that also. So,
is it also possible, जैसे NRC में you can find every ingredient, मतलब NDF कितना हर कोई आप confident ढूंढ सकते हो, and you can formulate on your own. मॉडल्स भी आपको दिए. Is it possible, क्योंकि वो वाले वैल्यूज हम यहाँ यूज नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो NDF होगा या दूसरा RUP होगा वो डिफरेंट होगा. So is it possible कि यूनिवर्सिटी एक ओवरव्यू प्रिपेयर करे जो यहाँ पे जैसे सनफ्लावर निकलता है या मस्टर्ड निकलता है, that they can give an overview of the.
Yeah, that is university has already, we had before this we had National Agriculture Technology project, NATP. In NATP, the university, this university has already analyzed the fodders available here, and उनके जो values है वो सारा काम यूनिवर्सिटी ने करा है. That data we have कि हमारे यहाँ के उगने वाले मेज़ में maybe there is this much difference than the maize that grows in Punjab.
Soil difference की वजह से
region specific.
Even
area specific.
Now they are talking of area specific mineral mixtures. Our nutrition people and medicine people, they are working on that. They are doing a lot in that sector also.
That they have done.
But ये जो ये होगा ना ये ration balancing ये program, this will be based on those average values. Here we see what aim is that जो उसके पास available जो भी है घर में या जो what he routinely uses, उसी का better combination करके वो उसको दे ताकि वो optimum हो जाए. Otherwise से suppose farmer ऐसे सोचता होगा चलो आज भूसा ही खिलाते हैं, मेज कल खिलाते हैं, और दूसरा दिन जो कुछ तीसरी चीज होती है कंसंट्रेट वो अगले दिन खिलाएंगे. सो इससे ये होगा कि बैलेंसिंग वो करेगा. इट विल नॉट बी परफेक्ट, इट मे नॉट बी परफेक्ट बैलेंस, बट इट विल बी सॉर्ट ऑफ एन नियरेस्ट पॉसिबल अप्रोच टू दैट बैलेंस्ड.
इसमें शायद ये भी है ना कि व्हाट काइंड ऑफ एनिमल यू हैव, हाउ मच प्रोडक्टिविटी दैट एनिमल इज हैविंग, ऑन द बेस ऑफ दैट has to be fed कि कितना मिल्क देता है ऑन एवरेज. उसी के साथ
वो ऐसे वो जो आपके पास वो ऐप होगा दैट विल आस्क फर्स्ट योर क्वेश्चन नंबर 1
ब्रीड कौन सी है,
किसके लिए आप ये डेयरी कैटल के लिए. हाँ जी, डेयरी कैटल के हॉलस्टाइन कितना एवरेज मिल्क प्रोडक्शन इसके जी 10 लीटर देता है. देन क्या क्या इंग्रेडिएंट है आपके पास, ये मेरे पास है. देन इट विल गिव यू आंसर कि नियरेस्ट पॉसिबल ये है, आप ये 5 किलो ये 6 किलो ये और 7 किलो ये.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable inputs and the policy which you have framed for the holistic development of agriculture, particularly dairy sector in J&K. I believe this policy will be implemented in letter and spirit and will bring dividends to the state economy. Thank you, sir. So now,
सर बोल रहे हैं लंच करेंगे.
वही कर रहे हैं. So we are heading for lunch to the guest house. Before that, we want to felicitate our today's eminent speaker, Dr. Azmat Alam. May I request Dr. Shafkat Ghazi most here to please hand over a memento to Dr. Azmat, sir.
For Azmat always.
Photo to
साहब के बारे में पता नहीं आप लोगों को पता है कि नहीं. He did his civil services. He played his civil services. And I came to him long back, probably 20 years, 25 years before.
20.
So I told him, यार क्यों नहीं जाओगे? बोला नहीं, I want to be a scientist and I want to remain here. अगर ये you will have been somewhere in the administration at a very high level. So we should always have people like him who are here by choice, not by chance. God bless you.
Before we head for lunch, there is a request to all the participants. Today's attendance will be marked as your registration, but from tomorrow, lecture-wise attendance will be done because we have to present the report to higher authorities for the successful completion
We
of the
have to
training.
upload that in the
And we have to upload it in MSME portal as well as today we have to report to the university authorities. ठीक है. So today after lunch you are free to move. From tomorrow 10 you will reach here 10:30 exactly. Not after 10:30.